Can you tell me what's happening? Where is this going? I'm supposed to be going inside the hotel.
Hey everyone, welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today we're diving deep into Apple TV Plus's psychological thriller, Surface Season 2, Episode 2. This episode is packed with suspense, secrets, and new revelations that keep the mystery surrounding Sophie's life and the Huntley family at an all-time high. By the end of this video, you'll have all the answers you need to understand the major twists of this episode, especially that shocking return we see at the end. Let's get into it.
My mother's death certificate. Cause of death.
Sophie and Callum, an uneasy alliance. The episode kicks off with Sophie meeting Callum, the investigative journalist who seems to be her only ally in uncovering the truth about the Huntley family. Last episode, they made a dramatic pact to expose the family's secrets, and here we see the two of them digging into even darker parts of Sophie's life. Sophie hands Callum a death certificate for her mother, Emma Antoine Day, and it's clear something's off. The cause of death is listed as unclassified. No official reason is given, which is highly suspicious. Sophie doesn't buy it and asks Callum to look into it. But what's interesting is Callum's initial skepticism. He's not sure if Sophie's motives are pure. He wonders whether she's strong enough to take down a powerful family like the Huntleys. After all, it's a fight against one of the most influential families in the country. But Sophie is resolute. She's in this to find the truth, even if it means taking down people with connections that run deep. Callum's instincts tell him that Sophie may be hiding something, and while he doesn't fully trust her, he agrees to investigate. Sophie, on the other hand, has very little choice but to rely on him. She doesn't remember her past, but she's starting to piece things together, including the possibility that her mother's death is linked to the Huntley family. So it's an uneasy partnership, but it's one that makes sense, given the stakes.
Matthew Lewis had a family practice out in the country for 30 years, until he died 2 years
ago. The mystery of Emma's death. Now, let's talk about Emma's death, because it's central to everything Sophie's investigating. Sophie's confusion over the cause of death and Callum's efforts to decipher what unclassified means are crucial to the plot. The coroner's office confirms that the term means no official cause of death was declared. Even more troubling, no autopsy was done. This is highly irregular and it smells fishy. Callum digs deeper and finds out the doctor who signed the death certificate, Matthew Lewis, was William Huntley's personal doctor for over 30 years. That's a huge connection. It suggests that William had a hand in covering up something, and that's a big red flag for Sophie. The doctor never would have reported anything suspicious about Emma's death because he was loyal to the Huntleys. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. As Callum continues his research, he finds very little information about Emma's past. A student visa, a degree from Oxford, and a death certificate. There's nothing else. It's almost like she didn't exist. Callum theorizes that the Huntleys erased her history, but Sophie's own investigation uncovers something even more intriguing. A series of cryptic numbers scribbled by Emma, likely by Sophie herself before the accident. These numbers, as it turns out, are coordinates pointing to a location behind William Huntley's estate. This is huge. Sophie realizes she might have been onto something important before her accident. Could she have been investigating the Huntleys even back then? Sophie is starting to uncover more pieces of the puzzle, and it's clear that Emma's death is far from simple.
I have somewhere else to be.
Stay.
Sophie's encounter with Eliza Sophie also makes a bold move this episode by trying to get closer to Eliza, her estranged lover. At the beginning of the episode, Callum suggests Sophie should try to get herself invited to Quinn's engagement party. Sophie, ever the strategist, uses her past connection with Eliza to gain an invite. She says all the right things, claiming she can never feel as real with her husband as she did when she was with Eliza. It's a calculated move, and it works. But as the episode unfolds, we realize that Eliza's invitation wasn't purely out of kindness. She's suspicious of Sophie, and she wants to see what Sophie does at the party. Eliza has done her homework. She's discovered that Sophie grew up in a group home, not the wealthy family she had claimed to come from. Eliza is stunned by this revelation, and it puts a strain on their already fragile relationship. She tells Sophie not to contact her again, leaving their connection in a tense place. But despite this, Sophie has already wormed her way into the Huntley family, and she's not backing down.
You okay? Wasn't exactly expecting a chauffeur tour.
The Huntleys are watching Sophie. The Huntley family is keeping an eye on Sophie, and it's clear they don't trust her. Quinn, for example, is immediately suspicious of Sophie's presence at the engagement party, especially after the auction incident in the previous episode. Sophie's return to London is raising alarms, and she's beginning to see that the Huntleys aren't as untouchable as they appear, but they're not stupid either. Eliza's coldness towards Sophie is interesting because it reveals just how much tension there is between them. Eliza had feelings for Sophie, but now she's playing the part of someone who doesn't trust her anymore. Eliza's investigation into Sophie's past is a major twist because it shows that Sophie is not just battling the Huntley family, but her own former lover as well.
I said fuck off! Oh, who fucking sent you?
The shocking return of James. And then we get the jaw-dropping moment at the end of the episode. Sophie, still reeling from the tensions at the party, goes to the restroom and then returns to find none other than her husband, James Ellis, standing in the middle of the party, chatting with guests. This is a complete shock to Sophie because she staged her own suicide, and she hasn't seen James since she left him in the United States. But here's the kicker. Did James really show up in London, or is Sophie hallucinating? She's had visions of James before, and this could be another one of those moments where her mind plays tricks on her. However, considering James's obsessive nature, it's entirely possible he has tracked Sophie down. If he is actually in London, how did he get into the Huntley party? Does he have connections with the family? And what does this mean for Sophie's investigation? James's return raises the stakes significantly. Sophie is already investigating a powerful family, but now she has to deal with the possibility that her past is catching up to her in more ways than one. Is James there to stop her from uncovering the truth? Or is this all in Sophie's head?
Oh, Tess! It's so nice to see you again. Eliza invited me.
Sophie's unraveling world. As the episode progresses, Sophie's world continues to unravel. She's piecing together fragments of her memory, uncovering secrets about her mother's mysterious death, and navigating a complex web of relationships with the Huntleys. But the bigger question is, what's next? The return of James is only the tip of the iceberg. We know that the Huntleys are dangerous, and they'll do whatever it takes to protect their secrets. But Sophie is no longer the woman she was before the accident. She's determined, driven, and starting to trust the right people, like Callum, who seems to be on her side for now. But with James in the picture and the Huntleys tightening their grip, Sophie is facing her biggest challenges yet.
That was sent to that girl, everything is completely scrubbed.
Our nerdy thoughts. So there you have it, folks. Episode 2 of Surface Season 2 was filled with twists, turns, and shocking moments. Sophie's investigation into her mother's death is only getting deeper, and the Huntleys are clearly on high alert. With the return of James and the growing tension between Sophie and Eliza, things are only going to get more complicated from here. What do you think is going to happen next? Is James really in London, or is it all in Sophie's mind? And how far will Sophie go to bring the Huntleys down? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of our Surface breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, keep questioning everything.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.